Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Monoxide Podcast. I'm your host, Harris, AKA Monoxide, photographer, videographer, man of many automotive aspirations. I need to figure out my side better of this intro. But, Sean, what do you drive? Tell everybody what you drive and what everybody knows you by.
Well, you might have seen me driving a BMW 1M, recently pulled over. Maybe we'll talk about that, but we don't have to get into it. And Blue Durango, which was a little leaky after Power Cruise, and it's not leaking anymore, so that's a good thing.
It was hilarious. Last episode, we kicked it off, and I was like, Sean, do we talk about your leaky piece of shit or my leaky piece of shit? So that's basically how we kicked off last episode.
Yeah, So this is the Monoxide Podcast, if you haven't heard, and this is where we kind of show you the behind the scenes in our local community and kind of introduce you to the people who drive some of the really cool cars and who own some of the coolest businesses in the state.
All right, and today we have Jen, AKA Carsmotology. You are very well known in the car community, at least. Would you say that's pretty accurate?
I mean, sure.
Okay.
I just sit in the shop all the time, but yeah.
Yeah, cool. So the best way I could describe you is like you're kind of the go-to person for detailing supercars. There's only a handful of people in the state, but you've detailed some really cool stuff over the years, especially at your new shop, which is freaking fantastic. I know I saw Joe's R8 over there recently. Super awesome. So honestly, we're going to just kick this podcast off just seeing how did you get to where you are today and what are you up to nowadays? And then we'll kind of go from there. So many ways.
Yeah. So like, how did I get to where I am today? It all kind of started when my brother kind of got, like, I've always loved cars, but he really like got me into them. He told me that he was going to come home with like an Eagle Talon TSI all-wheel drive. And I thought that this was just going to be like some Ferrari that came home. But it wasn't. It was like the smaller vehicle, but still like he made it just sound so cool. So he kind of like,
awesome.
Yes.
We had a guest on 3 episodes ago that had one of those souped up.
If I saw one, I would want to try and buy it because just memories. Because I had a Eclipse GST.
Okay.
GST, yeah.
My dad had one of those too.
First gen.
Yeah.
Loved it. So I got into cars that way. And then when I turned 15, everybody was kind of like getting a job at the local car wash. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll go work at the car wash with everybody. And then I was kind of like working in the cashier area. Let's just say like I didn't have that job for very long because the manager was taking care of like the till at the end of the night. He'd be like, oh, give me the till, I'll take care of it. Well, soon after like a couple months, the numbers weren't coming back right. And I don't know what was going on, but I ended up getting fired. So ended up like going through some family stuff when I was in high school. I dropped out of high school. I actually... Like, should I talk about like my?
Tell us the whole like how do we get to Carsmotology?
So
give
like
us the life
kind of
story.
like there's a thing that kind of like turned me into like who I was younger. So I had like a shitty childhood. I mean, it wasn't shitty. I had a home to go to. There was food on the table, stuff like that. But like my mom was an alcoholic. My dad ended up moving away. I ended up like getting into drugs. Then I lost my dad at 17 from like a carbon monoxide leak, which like really like messed with me, and I like ended up getting into drugs for like 2 years. Like I said, dropped out of high school, drove down to Florida, lived in my car for a bit, came back, and then I was just like, because I drove away because all my friends were on drugs, and I was like, okay, I don't see myself as being like this, and so I ended up like coming back. Well, I left, got myself sober, came back, went into technical college. Got another job at a full-service car wash detail center. And then I just kind of, like, wanted somebody to, like, make me accountable. So, like, my boss was, like, a drill sergeant. He was somebody that, like, I knew that he needed to make sure that, like, there wasn't even a speck of dust after somebody came in. Otherwise, he would come down to the vacuum bay and he would, like, throw a vacuum attachment and tell me to make sure that everything was fucking clean and done right. So I was just like, oh, my God. Like,
okay,
I got to make sure that I do this perfect and the guy that's working next to me does it perfect. And then I'm going to bring it to the what's it called? The prep bay. I'm going to check everything over. If it's not, I'm bringing it back. Then I'm going to prep it, and then I'm going to run all the way down to the dry bay and make sure that not even a drip is like dripping from the mirror, because my boss would have like come out there and wiped it in front of us.
Super strict.
So we looked like a dumbass. So I just like, I made sure that everything was perfect, and then I would come in the morning. I would have my routine. I'd make the coffee for him. I would mop, all over. I would clean the bathrooms. I would clean all the dealership mats. I just like did the shit that like nobody really wanted to do. That's just like what I like to do. I like to kind of over exceed expectations. So after about like a year, I became, supervisor, then assistant manager, and then I was like, like the manager. And so I ran that place for like 4 years when I was 21, 22 years old, hiring, firing, dealing with all, like everything.
Right. You grew up real quick.
So like not only did I have to go through the stuff in childhood, and then I like put myself in technical college, and then all of a sudden I was like, all right, I'm going to try and go to Mankato State. So I applied for Mankato State. I got into it, and I was there for like a little bit. I saved up money so I didn't have to work for a year. And then all of a sudden I was driving a lowered B5 S4.
Okay.
On 19s, and I was like driving to SCI at the time. That was like the one shop, if you guys ever heard of that. SCI, it's like South Central Imports out in Minneapolis. So that's where I used to go, and I was like driving from Mankato to go there. Well, I ended up like, somebody passed over a rock in front of me. I ended up hitting that rock, destroyed everything underneath my car. I was too stupid to buy the car back. So then I was like, I'm gonna buy this like, Pontiac GTO 606 speed.
Okay.
400 and like whatever 4 horsepower. I thought it was so cool. And so then I went from going to college, doing everything like right, then I was like, I gotta get a job, I gotta pay for this car. And then all of a sudden I like started smoking weed again, and like there went my college. So I quit. Like,
what were you going to college for?
I was just going for generals. I
okay.
just want an education. I was going to go for like business management or something like that, because that's what my old boss like.
Because you kind of got a knack for like managing stuff, and you're just like, make it more official.
He was kind of like, he literally was kind of like a fill-in dad. He called me like the daughter that he didn't have, and like stuff like that. So he was like, absolutely, you should go do this. So I ended up like dropping out of college after a bit. I came back, and pretty sure I like got into like just doing detailing on the side, and then I was like serving or bartending or something like that.
In what area were you like detailing on the side?
There was like this shady dude that I worked for, super shady. He like had his wife and kids, and I didn't realize at the time that he was like taking me around places to like go pick up cars. Like we were picking up cars, but he like wouldn't tell his wife. And I'm just like, this is fucking weird. And so finally I just like quit. I'm like, I need to get out of here. But that was like in Shakopee.
Oh, really? Oh, not too far from where we're filming right now.
Yeah,
Sean.
that's not hard to believe.
Yeah, right off of 169.
That's a throwback.
And so I ended up working there. I quit, and then I was like bartending at this place. And somebody came in and they're like, you should work at this, motorsport company. And I was like, okay, sure. So like I started working there. I worked there for 2 years. I wasn't getting paid enough after 2 years, and I could understand because they like moved into a bigger shop. It was like huge, and,
right? Expenses and all that.
Yeah, and we weren't charging very much for details at the time. So I was like, okay, I want to step out from behind the curtain. I want to go do detailing on my own. I always called like detailing my cars my like car cosmetology. So like thinking of names, I'm like, I can't think of like Jen's shop, whatever. So I just ended up, all of a sudden I just started morphing it, and I was like Carsmotology.
And so
like,
what was the first name then?
It was, I think it was like Jenner's Detailing, because my dad always used to call me Jenner. So yeah, so that's what I like my first business cards were. And then I like was like, I love Carsmotology. And so people,
it's such a good name.
Thank you.
Yeah, it has such a good ring to it.
So many people talk shit about it
really?
At first. Like they laughed about
at first,
it, and then they're like a couple of people close to me, they're like just laughed about it. And like I didn't have money to get into the shop. I actually had to borrow money from somebody, and it was only like $2,000, and I paid it back within like 5 months or something like that. But yeah, they're like, it's a mouthful. Like you need to have something short, or like they laughed at it because it was like, it just people didn't really like it at first.
And when did you make the name officially?
2014. So I have been in business since June 1st, 2014.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Happy anniversary. Oh, no, it's August. Never mind.
No, it'll be, next year it'll be the 10 years. So it'll be like
Okay.
a nice little party or something. I don't know.
Are you side note before you continue, are you going to have an open house coming up soon?
I'm thinking about doing it in October
Okay.
because it's just so, like, it is nonstop busy right now.
Yes.
So when I think about, like, the weeks that I have going on that are so busy, and then all of a sudden, like, Fridays come around and I'm like, holy shit, if I were to have an open house, I would be like, I'd be panicking a little bit. And yeah, so I think probably, like, if anything, maybe late October. It might even go into November, which kind of sucks because I just don't want it to be like before it snows, but I just need to be like a little prepared.
Which is valid. You could also do something like a winter, like, you know, like a get together or something if you really wanted to.
Well, what I'd like to have is, you know, I mean, obviously I want to have everybody's cars be there and stuff like that, but it would be nice to have like maybe something a little bit smaller too, and just like inside, nice little vibe, catering. I already got this like cool chef guy that I met not too long ago. But yeah, so I'm thinking about it. I mean, like, I definitely want to. It's just there's like so much personal stuff that's going on right now with family.
Right.
So it's like it's kind of been a little.
It's a later problem. That's the thing. Like when you're full time, like you're a business owner, like you're busy nonstop. So you kind of have to prioritize, like, you know, certain things just fall to the wayside. Yeah. Totally happens all the time.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you made it in 2014. People are laughing at you because they don't know things.
Didn't know. And so, like, I was charging, because there were different tactics. Like, as a business owner, I was like, okay, I got to go about this, right? Nobody was really charging a lot for details back then. So I, like
$20.
Well, it was crazy, yeah. Like, people question when I was, like, trying to charge $200 to $250 for an inside and outside, like, complete detail, like, polish for hours, engine clean, like, shampoo, like, everything, the whole 9 yards. And then just like all of a sudden, and I would like go around and I would like introduce myself. There were local shops that were probably like taking my cards and throwing them in the trash and keeping like the cookies or whatever I brought them, you know, and yeah, people are just kind of like dicks, but also I was just like, I'm never going to stop. And
just obsessed.
And there was like, I would like, I wouldn't troll. I would go and like watch like car forums. I'd be like, okay, so there's this car group. Like, I'm going to watch and make sure that the guy that's in charge of it isn't a douchebag for one, and isn't going to try and like, I wanted to be affiliated with like the right kind of car.
It's huge.
Car forums or like clubs and stuff like that. So I would reach out to the admins and I'd be like, hey, you know what, I'm doing detailing, I'd love to show you what I can do, like, let me do your car. If you like it, you can send out the bat signal to all the people and see if you want that, you know, if you want to like kind of promote my business, whatever. So I did that, and then, you know, it was just kind of word of mouth because I had been detailing for like something teen years, and I had clientele, I had people that were introducing me to, you know, like Porsche owners or like a Porsche shop. And then like, you know, that was really awesome. Like, yeah. So
like your clientele started growing.
It started growing. And then I had to raise my prices because it's
supply and demand, but also quality,
you know, like how much time I was putting I wasn't making any money for like the first year for sure. And then I was like dealing with some shit. Like I had to live in my shop for a year. You know, but I was like, I know, like, it's either like leave my shop and shut it down and find a place to live, or know that this is not how it's always going to be. So I would sit there and like have to wash myself in like a blue tub and like, you know, shave and it like cold water and all sorts of like shit. But yeah, it was pretty tough. And I don't know if you guys have ever listened to like Eric Thomas.
No.
So there's this one thing where he talks about like if you want to succeed as much as like, let's say there's this guru that has this guy, like, meet him at this guy that wants to succeed at the beach. He's like, I want to succeed so bad. And so he was like talking to this guru. The guru was like, meet me at the beach. And he said, you know, like, all right, I want you to step out into the water. And the guy's like, you're fucking crazy. And so he steps out into the water. Guru's like, okay, a little bit more. Steps out a little bit more. And then all of a sudden, like, the guru held his head under the water to the point where, like, you know, he, like, it's like, what do you want at that point? It's like, you want to breathe. And like, when you want to succeed as much as you want to breathe, like, then you'll be successful. And like, that just like resonated with me so much because I sat there and like, you know, I didn't care about any, like, I mean, it's sad, but like, there were birthdays that I missed. There were like, you know, get-togethers with like girlfriends. There was, you know, dinner. There was just like so much stuff that I missed out on because I just I had a goal in sight. I had horse blinders on. I needed to do it. And yeah, so that's like all I really cared about. And then I ended up like going into another shop and worked there for a while. And, you know, I just wanted to, I guess, step away from that. And then I got my own shop again. It's a lot more square footage. And, you know, I have like a great environment there. I just want positivity. I want growth. I have people that work with me. It's a great team. I got 2 girls that approached me. They're amazing. And I got a full-time media marketing manager that I have worked with for like 4 years. We're great friends. And yeah, things are just like...
Things are looking good over there right now.
It's super great. Yeah.
From the outside looking in, I mean, like, you know, you got a couple people working for you or a few people. It's like,
yeah,
it's looking good. And I'm not sure what your plans are. I know we talked about like what your future plans may be for a while, but as of right now, it seems like everything is just going really well.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, like there's things that you figure out, like
along
you
the
know,
way.
There's a lot of things that you figure out that don't really like work exactly how you want them. Like kind of like my dry ice machine, like that was kind of like that pissed me off because the air compressor that I got that was like a lot of money broke like the second time that I turned it on. And
was it warranted or anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they like sent me stuff and I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? And I'm like, I don't know how to take this apart. Like, who do I, you know, they didn't give me any sort of direction. And then like after like a couple months, I finally just like went crazy ex-girlfriend style and called them. And I'm like, you're paying for this shit to get fixed. And like, I called the tech to like come and fix it. And like now we're up and running. And yeah.
Because it's a large, like how much was the machine? Because it's a lot of money. Like it's like.
The dry ice machine?
Yeah. Like,
9.
Yeah, you don't want to like. You want it to work.
Yeah, so that was 9, and then the air compressor was like 10.
Jesus.
And then like all the plumbing and like getting everything figured out, and
I saw who is it? Freaking the guy with the P1. He got that thing dry ice cleaned, and that's the first time I've ever seen.
Are you talking about Tavares?
Yeah, Tavares. He got the P1 not sandblasted. Dry ice, but it looked like, you know, what they do, it's like the little dry ice beads, they just hit the surface and they don't like scratch or mar anything.
I mean, if you turn the pressure up, like PSI up enough, like you could, you know, you could mess some stuff up.
But it's like waterless cleaning essentially. Like you could
like
blast
when it
the
comes
whole
to like
thing.
matte wheels, like matte black wheels, those suck to clean.
Really?
I hate them. Like, but you can blast that thing with the dry ice machine, and it's like, it's so great. It's amazing. Yeah. So right now, I just need to. I'm like trying to I'm like looking at a truck possibly because the dry ice is an hour and a half away, and the only time they deliver, like the reason why I want to go through them is because their dry ice pellets are like half of what everybody else's are. They're like
is it
50
pretty
cents
expensive?
a pound. 50 cents a pound, and yeah, I'd probably usually buy like 250 to 500 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah, and then schedule some stuff.
And then how long does that last, usually?
Probably like a week or so.
Okay, so you basically have to get dry ice every week.
Yeah, but like I am like, we're trying to do a video right now to like how to, like marketing wise, and then I'm going to, you know, advertise, like, you know, blast that out to get people in and stuff. But like I said, there's just like a whole bunch of stuff that's going on family wise right now that I got to get through.
Just priorities, yeah.
Yeah, unexpected things that are come up. Yeah,
I get it.
So that's kind of the story. But there are a lot of cool things going on. I'm going out to California to work on, and like nobody knows this yet, but I'm working on a product line. So
okay, I thought you had your own.
I got my own product that I developed. Like
okay.
It took me 2.5 years like testing that out. Like made it myself, and then I approached the company I was working for, and then they made it. But no, this is like my own like product line.
Like Carsmotology brand.
Okay. And you're okay with us dropping, because this episode's going to drop on Monday.
Do it.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Do it.
So, okay, developing a product line then. So what goes into making it? Because there's dozens and dozens of like notable, like good product companies out there. What are some of the things you're considering to actually make a good product? Like what do you like and not like about other products?
So there's definitely things that like I want to, first of all, like these people have approached me about in 2019, and I was married pretty much to another company working for them.
Right.
So I was under contract. I couldn't couldn't fuck around with anybody else.
Right.
So after, a few years, that person, like, I want to be able to have a good relationship with that person, like business relationship. I want to be able to, you know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to conversate with them well. I want to know that they have good morals. They're not trying to just, like, the guy is a good dude.
Right.
So another thing is the product. Like, I have to be able to test it out. I need to know, like, what's in it, and I want to be able to morph it. So I'm co-branding this with somebody because it's like they're the manufacturer. But they're working with me, and they're, like, helping me tweak things in it, and, like, they're sending me test samples because I tell them what I want in it. Like, I want this 99.99%, to kill, I want it to kill like 99.99% of bacteria, mold, and viruses. Right. I want this, like, I don't like this, verbiage on this. That's not like, because, for instance, like, graphene is like one of the new words.
It's hot right now, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if I want that in it. I'm still testing it out. It does work really well, but also, I just don't know if I want that. I don't know if I want that.
Is this a singular product or like a line?
No, it's going to be like 5.
So
we're going to start with 5.
Okay, so what are the 5 types of products? Like, what are they for? Are you able to talk about that?
Yeah. So what I want is an interior cleaning product. I definitely want some. So I'm going between, and like maybe you guys can help me. I value the opinion. Okay, so I want either a quick detailer, which everybody kind of, everybody loves a quick detailer. Pull it out of your trunk, like get it out, get your hair all spiffed up.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's like, there's like a spray sealant, like that is more protection. So I'm like going between those two. I'm like, do I want something that has more protection, or do I want just a quick detailer?
I would go with the spray sealant because I kind of like doing that after I'm done washing my car. Because then I already know my car is perfectly clean. There's, little to no dust and no debris. And then I hit it with the sealant, and then it's, that extra layer of protection versus like that quick detailer spray. It's like I see like a lot of like older guys doing that to their cars. Like they pull up to the
I'm not that
car.
old.
You don't clean your car, so it's not you. Trust me.
I haven't had quick detail.
You take your car through the spinny brushes.
The butcher shop?
I don't use
the butcher shop.
brushes.
Oh, I like that.
Butcher shop.
That's what you guys call it?
That's what I call it. Yeah.
It just cuts into your paint.
Oh, yes.
So that's what you do. So don't try to.
I don't use spinny brushes.
Oh, touchless.
Touchless, yeah.
Okay,
right.
well, still, do you go on like the triple foam, blah, blah, blah?
It depends how much money I got in my bank account.
Well, oh, man, you know what you need? Like, I
don't know if I feel like doing...
ceramic coating would be great because that creates less surface tension. Nothing really wants to stick to the car, so you can go on the lower settings. The thing is like that triple foam, it's high detergents and acids. So especially with people that have like especially I see it on Range Rovers. They have that plastic trim like by the mirrors and then like the trim. You'll see those get stained like crazy because of that.
By those like washes.
By the detergents and acids that are in because they're just like usually not.
It's super strong.
Super strong. Yeah.
Stuff. It's kind of like going to like the wrong dry cleaners and taking like your nice suit.
Well, clearly it's not strong enough because my car is fucking filthy still.
Well, touchless, you can't rely on a touchless.
Yeah, not at all.
You need some sort of like, agitation on there. So, yeah. But I mean, I'm like kind of, it's almost like, do I come out with the spray sealant and the quick detailer? But yeah, I want, and then there is, I'm like, do I do the glass cleaner too? But there's also, it's a vinyl rubber and trim. It's like all-in-one, but I like it because it's not super, because I needed something for the tires, but I'm also like, oh, there's this one that could be used for all 3. So there's that one. And then I was going between like leather conditioner or a degreaser. But some people can fuck things up with a degreaser. So I'm like, let's be safe. And usually people care about, having their leather nice and moisturized.
What I like to have on hand is like a tire and wheel cleaner, a leather cleaner, and then like that sealant spray. Like that's, usually what I'm using for, interior, exterior kind of work. And then, having like something like a degreaser for the engine bay to like kind of hit like the heavy stuff, but that's like very, you don't use that every time.
I'm just scared like for people to mess some shit up. You
know? Definitely.
I think when it comes down to like a big market, like Sean kind of, he's more advanced.
I like doing like this. I like the it's therapeutic.
Yeah.
I get to spend some time with my car, and I just hit it with some water
Very
and wash
intimate.
it. Yeah, so that's what I like about it, and it's just like it's super easy for me to do, and it just saves me a few bucks.
Yeah.
If I don't feel like it, I have somebody like you come and clean it or drop it off and get it cleaned, and it's like that just takes a whole weight off my shoulder for a weekend.
Couldn't be me. If I had an unlimited budget, I would go to either you or somebody else all the time. Be like, here, just take care of it.
Yeah.
Like I like cleaning my car every once in a while, but it's different. Like, for example, you're always working on your business. Like, I'm sure you clean your car because you have to clean your car.
I have the girls do it.
Right, yeah, somebody else do it because you don't got time to work on your own car. Like my brother, he's a detailer, right? We've talked about
Yeah.
this. Or, well, detailer, it's a strong word, but because he works for a dealership, you know how it goes.
Yep.
And even he admits to it. But he doesn't care to wash his own car anymore. He's like, I'd spend all freaking day doing
Cleaning
it.
somebody else's car.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to do is clean my own car. Yeah. I mean,
Right.
there's sometimes I'll probably maybe clean mine a few times a year. I'll
Right.
wash it like more, but I definitely, when it comes to the interior, I'm just like, here, girls, like,
Like, you have fun with it.
take my money. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, heads up, get your mic just a little closer.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
just some ASMR. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But so like Sean kind of falls into that slightly advanced category because he cares a little bit more. Like, whereas me, like, and it's not even a joke. Like, you just care. You have very nice toys, as you should take care of them. Me, however, I still have a Band-Aid on my front end. I don't know if you saw that because I hit a 2x4. I ain't dealing with fixing it. Because
like a actual Band-Aid?
yeah, an actual band. By the way, dude, Band-Aids freaking stick on there, dude. It's ridiculous. Like, whatever adhesive they use, they should use for vinyl wraps.
Hold on. Loaded.
Yeah, right down this. Yeah, for the business.
Band-Aids. Yeah.
But like I just ordered some stuff from 3D Care Plus or what's the company? You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
3D. Yeah, 3D. I don't know what. I don't use 3D, but
Yeah.
I just know 3D.
Yeah, so I
3D.
ordered some of their stuff because one of my friends, she has a code, and I was like, all right, sick. I'll save 20%, and I'll actually have some product to use on my car. And the things I ordered were, first of all, I get a lot of brake dust because I drive like a lunatic, but also like a quick detailer, and then a couple other things like the advanced stuff. But like, I will never ever do a detail that you would be satisfied with. Let's put it that way on my own car.
I'm sure it's better than people like putting soap on their car and waiting for it to rain. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know.
like Dawn.
Yeah.
I used to wash my mom's car when I was like really little, and it was just be like one of the weekly chores was to wash her car, and she would just give me a bottle of Dawn soap and a bucket of water, and I'd wash it for her, and I got $5 at the end of the week. So it was like, all right, like she gets a clean car, I get $5. And then I didn't figure out until much later that that's really bad for your car.
Yeah, it's very like high in pH.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It strips,
strips.
the
They
clear
use it on
coat.
ducks though, don't they?
Yeah.
You've seen the duck commercial.
Yeah, it takes oil off. It strips a lot. Yeah.
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 saw
So don't
yeah.
use Dawn dish
If you want to
soap.
use anything, use like baby shampoo.
Okay.
It's no pH.
Very neutral.
Yes, very pH.
You're just trying to put yourself out of business, are you? Don't buy Jen's products. Just get some baby shampoo from Johnson & Johnson, the people who had the vaccine that melted everybody. But anyways.
Take it back.
All right. So, okay. So, and when did you say you're releasing this product or your product line? Do you have a rough idea?
Not sure. So, I mean, it's probably going to be announced at SEMA.
Okay.
But I'm not sure when it'll actually. I mean, it could be the beginning of next year. We could just wait till spring. You
Right.
know what I mean? For like, obviously, that's when people take their cars out and stuff. Where we're from.
Yeah.
Yeah. And are you going to do like a limited run or are you just going to be like, anybody
No,
can
this
buy
is
anytime?
for anybody. So
Oh, no,
this
the
is
menu-
actually this is more based for consumers, not like detailers.
Okay.
Because I'm not gonna lie, like detailers are some fucking babies.
Okay. Which is
Like
valid.
they are like. I've been like I was a rep for a company for 4 years. Like I do not understand. Sorry, this is a little event sesh. I do
No, you're
not
good.
understand how so many detailers would go. Like I got sick of it. That's why I needed to get out of it because they're online. Oh, I could say some
Keyboard
shit right
warriors.
now. Well, I could
Yeah.
say
Keep
some
it
little
in.
bit
Please
more.
don't make me edit.
Okay, yeah. So they are sitting there like. First of all, they're trolling on people.
Right.
You know, they might not be doing the process right. Let's say somebody else is doing something wrong, and then they sit there and like attack that person. It's like instead of you taking the time out to attack somebody else, maybe go into like their private message and say, "Hey, man, like let me like help you out. That's not how you do it. Like, this is how you do it. I just want to save you some flack from like other people trying to attack you.
Is that your approach for the
That's
most part?
my approach.
Yeah.
If anybody like is doing something where I know that they're gonna get attacked, I'm gonna go and like private message them and be like, yo, like this is, you know how many friends I've made, like long lasting like people out there that have been like, thank you so much, and like still call me all the time, and like they are like, it's not that hard to just be a good person. It's not that hard. There was one guy that was on Instagram that like so many people trolled on, just saying like what a hack he was. I was driving around the country training people, and I remember when I drove up through Chicago, I stopped at this dude's garage, taught him some stuff, gave him a different buffer to use rather than the one that he was using, because that was kind of like, but it's just like, yeah, that's not why I like, yes, detailers, they can use the product. It's not going to be bad product at all, but I'm not trying to like, because I just know how they're going to be. Like, some of them will be like, oh, you know, like.
Well, they all had their
they
different
might troll.
strategies and ways of.
Yeah, they already have their own ways of doing stuff, whatever. Just do that, you know? I'm not going to knock what you're doing. I don't have time to do it. Like, it's a really sad, it can be, like, there's a sad part of the industry.
Yeah, cutthroat. Like, crabs in a bucket.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's really sad, and that's why I don't really stay on Facebook too much, because I just couldn't handle like how much everybody just thought they're better than other people. I will never get out of the mentality of where I started, and you know when I meet people and they're like, oh, you know, they just, I don't know. There's certain people that I meet, and like, yes, I put myself out there in the industry, and so they're like excited to meet me, and I'm like, look, like I literally like will never get out of the fact that I was in like the dirtiest holes, like detailing. So I'm no different than like anybody else.
Right.
And I just want to try and help. I just want to help people.
Yeah, you don't get like
I don't
a big
want to
head
hurt
about
people. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, short story long, as I say. I just want to gear this, like, this is a lot more geared towards the consumer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you said it was going to be released at SEMA. So are you?
Well, it'll probably be announced. It'll probably be announced.
During that week.
Yeah, like that I'm working with this specific
Oh,
brand.
okay.
Yeah.
I thought you guys were going to go to SEMA. I'm like, wow, that's awesome.
Well, I'm going
like,
to SEMA.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so me, I just got tickets for Nate, who's the guy that works with me full time, who does like media and stuff like that. So him and I are gonna go. We're gonna get like a lot of content, and we'll definitely be announcing
SEMA's
that we're
huge.
working. Yeah, I'm glad that this year I actually get to go, not like working for a company,
But as yourself.
but as myself. Because yeah, I was kind of like, you know, I had to sit at a booth for 8 hours a day, and that's like how I got a nickname Jan, because I would go to sleep at like 6 or 7 in the afternoon, or like in the evening, because I was just so tired afterwards. Like, you don't have time to eat, you don't have time to do anything really.
Just kind of go.
Yeah.
So how many have you been to SEMA pretty much every year the last few years then?
It's been like since 2017.
Oh, you haven't gone since then?
No, I've gone ever since 2017.
Oh, okay,
so
okay,
it's
okay.
been it's been like 6 years, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, 5-6 years.
Do you find the quality of cars there to be pretty good? Because I know sometimes like people make fun of SEMA builds.
Well, it's the
I haven't really, well,
It's hard to see it from a booth, I guess.
yeah, it's all right. Like, I mean, they're good. I gotta say, the only one that really I cared about last year was it was like a dark green RS6.
Oh, yeah. There's some
Wagon.
cool stuff that come out there, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my
So,
jam.
okay. Oh, you're a big Audi person.
for sure.
Okay, what got you into Audi? Why are you so Audi? Because this is a Beamer guy over here, so. Well, I don't know. You love everything.
I love a little bit of
I
everything.
could smell it. I'm just kidding. I gotta say, like, so when I was 19, I saw an Audi. I don't know if you guys know, like, for those of you that don't really know what we're talking about, but Shakopee is where we're at. There's like a hole in the wall, or like just like a tiny little dealership off of like the main drag of downtown Shakopee.
Yeah.
It's like right before, I think, like the KFC is. And
Yeah,
like
I know
right-
what you're talking about.
Yeah. So there was like a green. I called him Nemo, because like, I don't know if you remember, like the 97 had one mirror that was bigger than the other on the side.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's a little
so
quirk.
yeah, so I like saw that thing and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. I didn't know at the time that it was lowered and it had like some diverter valve and like I guess like I don't know, some other shit to it, but I like got that and I was like so stoked about it. I just loved the way that it looks and I will always love that body style of Audi. So that was the first one. Then I got like a 2.8 after that, same body style, and then I ended up like selling that. I had to get like an A6 after that, which I didn't like that body style, and so I just called that my beater, and then I ended up getting another 1.8 B5 and then got the S4 and then was stupid and bought B6 S4s and then I bought another B6 S4 and then yeah, I've had quite a few, and then
Yeah, that's a few Audis.
well,
Just a couple.
B6 A4, and then another S4, and then another B5 A4, and then I got the all-road.
Just constantly switching through Audis.
Yeah. So
Which one's been your favorite?
I love the all-road, especially since I got air ride on it.
Oh.
Yeah.
The one you have outside right now.
Yeah. And then I did love yeah, I think I just love that one the best. Yeah, even though it's not really fast and it's an automatic. All the other ones were manual.
Have you had any fast like Audis? Like, have you ever had one that was like souped up or not really?
Yeah, I did. It was like a 2011 S4 with like exhaust, dual pulley, tune, intake.
It's probably like what, 500-600 horsepower maybe.
I don't know. It was fast
Yeah.
though. It was nice, and I loved.
it was
I just
zippy.
loved the supercharger whine.
Yes, the supercharged Audis are ridiculous. I am so mad that they don't. Listen, I'm a turbo guy all day long. Like I used to be.
Yeah,
I used to be.
same,
Okay,
same.
I used to be a big supercharger guy. Mm-hmm. Actually, no. Okay, fun. Let's do a little rant / story. So one time, my dad brought home a Hellcat from the dealership because he gets to demo cars, right? He brought a Hellcat back. I want to say in 16 or 17. I'm like, what's that stupid whining? So I was not a big fan of superchargers.
Yeah, didn't know.
Then because I didn't know I was just starting to get back into cars. I've been up and down my entire life just because I turned into a gaming dork and all this stuff. But anyways,
Nerd.
so eventually I started really liking superchargers and Hellcats because I just was around it all the time. And then I went for a ride in a twin turbo Viper, and I was like, anything except for turbos are stupid. I was like, the amount of power you can get out of this, and then all the sounds, right? So like my car makes so many different sounds, and I'm just like, this thing is freaking amazing. Like, whereas a supercharger, no offense, Sean,
It's safe. It's tame.
that's it. All it does is just squeak. I mean, okay. And by the way, I'm just messing around here because like we just put out an amazing video of Sean's car. I just released it today, actually.
Yeah.
Supercharger sounds incredible.
Right.
I'm just,
Sounds so great.
if I had to choose one or the other, I don't think I could ever go without a turbo. How did I get on that?
If I like, well, I do love having a. I would have the turbo, but I would have to have it where like you could hear it whine down in through the exhaust. I really like that. Yeah. Otherwise, I really like the supercharger. I don't know.
Yeah, no, those supercharged Audis are ridiculous. I remember hearing like my first few. I can't remember whose it was. Actually, I remember whose it was, but I'm not gonna say it.
Okay.
But I remember it just did a pull, and it was just ridiculous. Because that was a V8 too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was a V6.
Oh yeah, that's right. The supercharged V6s. Yeah.
Yep.
Regardless, Audi, what have you done? I mean, they're faster now, I guess, but nonetheless, I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
So that's like 10 Audis you've had over the years, then probably more.
Yeah.
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 Do you see yourself getting like an R6 in the future when you get rich?
Rich.
Yeah, after this product line drops.
Yeah. What color would you do?
R6. I don't know. You know what? I really like. As much as I'm a detailer, I kind of want a murdered out car again.
Okay.
I love having the I don't think I'm ever gonna sell that. I don't think I'm ever gonna sell the wagon. I think like when that thing goes to shit, I'm gonna do like a 3.0T swap.
Okay.
Manual swap.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, so I can have the
that would be cool.
same.
Uh-huh.
Get the wine in there again. Yeah.
That'd be freaking gnarly.
I know, just a sleeper.
Do you like, what are your thoughts on wraps? You a fan of them? I know some detailers aren't.
Like in what sense? Like, would I get them on my car? Do I suggest like for protection? Do I like?
I guess any
or-
aspects. I know some people say it ruins paint.
I I mean,
I've torn paint off with wraps before. We won't
well,
talk
I mean,
about
that's usually when a car's been repainted.
Yep.
So like
3 weeks after.
You always run the risk. Like there's definitely like a smaller risk if you have like a clear bra or you have a wrap on it and it's never been repainted. Should be fine unless it's like sitting on there for like 10 plus years. But if you have like a repainted car and you put a wrap or clear bra on it, you are like more than likely gonna pull paint if you pull that stuff off. But when it comes to wraps, like, yeah, I mean, I had it on my car. It sucks to pull it off, especially if you like work with a place that like uses like this one
The adhesive
sort of, like,
stuff.
Yeah. Oh man.
Which I think you're like, I feel like most shops are like going away from that. Like, unless it's an absolute necessity, like don't use glue when you're putting on wraps or whatever it is.
It took me 20 hours to like work on my car to get the shit off and then polish it, and then it was a nightmare. But still, I mean, some places do what you gotta do when the time you have. I don't fucking know. But anyway, I'm not like super opposed to it. I would say that people should get their car like kind of like, you know, clay barred at least and decontaminated before you put it on, so you don't just like cover up all that contamination that like could possibly grow even more underneath. But yeah, I mean, if you want to change the color of your paint, whatever. I guess I'm kind of like neutral.
Neutral? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious from like a professional's perspective. Yeah. So is there anything kind of in the detailing world, like anything that just bothers the hell out of you? Like certain things that people, okay, oh no, I could tell you're ready. You're ready. Like the way, did you see her eyes light up? She's like ready to rant about something.
In the detailing world, that
like if somebody's
bugs me.
Yeah, like tire shine, for example, is a big one for a lot of people. I don't know. Do you fall in that category?
No. Well, okay. I mean, I wouldn't say it bugs me. It's just like, I guess it's and I think now, like, as I've like grown my reputation, people understand the fact that like there's a reason why I do what I do. And I love to educate people. So people, like, there's some people that'll be like, and this is fair. Okay. Not everybody's a car person, but they'll be like, holy shit, not what I was expecting for a price. But they don't realize that I'm like, hey, come in, let's talk about exactly what you need. Let me look at your car. Let me explain some things to you. You don't need to go with me. I'll just help educate you so you know exactly what all goes into it. This doesn't happen very often, like I said, because like I built the reputation enough to where people like understand that I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, they just know.
They just know. But like, you know, I want to give different options out there. I tailor like details to what the customer, you know, needs and like what they don't need. So if like you come in, I'm not going to tell you a full interior detail if you don't need it. Like, let's just like spot shampoo the front seat where all that salt is. We'll clean the seats up. I'll like, you know, I already clean out the interior, like, you know, a nice amount. Like, not going to do a full-blown interior, but when I do the exterior, I'll clean out the interior too, because I want you to get into the car that's like, you know, clean on the outside. I want it to be nice and clean on the inside. But yeah, if I see something like, okay, you know, you need that shampooed, let me just throw like $40 on there or something like that. Or all the seats, if you want that done too, maybe be like another $60.
Okay. So you can kind of tailor it a little bit. It's not just
tailor
like,
it to exactly what they need, and then I give different options, because there's some people that are like, I just want, you know, I stand back at, you know, 5 feet away and I just want it all shined up. You know, I want it to pop again. And then there's other people that want, like, you know, every single scratch that they possibly, that
show
I can
ready.
Show ready. And I can do that too. And then, you know, I'm not going to sell a ceramic coating to everybody. It's not for everybody, because there's like, that's why I have people come in for a consultation, preferably. So I'll say, you know, how long, you know, first of all, I'll say, how long have you had the car? When's the last time it's been detailed? By who? How do you maintain it, and how do you plan on maintaining it? And then any repainted areas, because they all kind of go into play. When I'm about to walk out to the car, I'm going to see, you know, like, let's say they just got the vehicle. Or let's say they've had it, okay, let's say they've had it for like 9 years. I'll be like, how long have you had it? 9 years. When's the last time it's been detailed? Oh, 4 years ago. Okay, so now I know that
like properly detailed, not just like a wash.
Well, then I'll be like, so who detailed it? Oh, the dealership. So now we're rolling dice, okay? Is this like, I'm rolling dice. Or if it's a professional detail, you know, and then I'll be like, how have you been maintaining it? Oh, I just run it through, you know, the butcher shop car wash, or I wash it by hand. So, you know, then I kind of know, am I going to walk up to it? It's going to feel like sandpaper. I'm going to see little tiny orange dots on the car, which if you see little tiny orange dots towards like the lower part and the back of your car, that's called rail dust. So that's from all the contamination flying up onto the paint, or from like your brake pads and like metals, sintered iron. That gets, like, your paint's very porous, so that gets into the pores of the paint, and that creates those little tiny rust spots that can, like, you, first of all, you want to take an iron and fallout remover. So I'm going to kind of get a little technical, okay?
No, you get technical, because this is exactly what's going on with my car right now.
So imagine, like, the contamination, like splinters in your skin. All right? So what you want to do is you want to clay bar it first. Well, this is what I do, all right? So you can clay bar it, you can iron, whatever. Do whatever you want. But taking clay bar is going to get what's on top of the skin, like the top of the splinters, off. Okay, so spraying that iron and fallout remover onto your skin, it's going to get what's ever embedded in the pores to bleed out. So then you're getting all that. That's a decontamination wash. So you're getting that, like, the iron's going to kind of like help bleed out those orange spots. And then I spray them on the wheels too. You can actually spray it in the door jambs as well, because you'll see that in the door jambs still. And then, yeah, the clay barring. So that's that's when I know, like, a car's been neglected. I'll be like, yeah. Or there's no protection on it when you wash your car, and your car is just like a sheet of water on there, and it doesn't, like, run off. And you don't have any protection on there.
No.
So
My poor car.
your poor car.
I was honestly, like, it just hit me about 34 seconds ago how embarrassed I should be of my car state with you here. I'm just like,
It's
oh
okay.
boy.
It's okay.
I finally got the salt out of the mats. What was it, in May?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of like it's just been a last priority, and that's why, like, I had a check engine light last
salt.
week. No, because my car is like, I fucking hate you. I hate for what you're doing to me. So it's just like, hey, remind me to exist. So after I had that, or just before I had a check engine light, because I could tell, like, I'm like, something weird is in the air. Something's about to happen, because I was leaking coolant and all that.
Yeah.
Because I was shooting with Jason with the blue truck. He says he knows you well, but
Oh, did he get all of his stuff done to it?
I have no idea. Oh,
Okay.
no, that's a later discussion.
Okay,
but
anyway.
Yeah, but I was just like, all right, I'm going to order some stuff for this car, even though, because it needs to be taken care of. Like, I feel bad. Like, I'll show you after the show. It's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But how the heck did we get on that? Sean?
Check engine light.
So the quality that you're providing
Yeah.
is so much more than, like, I think what most people think
Whole
of,
nother
like,
level.
car washing.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you just spray a car with water and put soap on it. No, you're talking about, like, a la carding, like, to tailoring to, like, the person who washes their car once after winter versus the person, who might bring it in, like, every week, who needs, like, a weekly detail. And so it's a little bit less, but you're paying more for the weekly maintenance.
Well, some people, like, consider a detail as just, like, a good outside wash and an interior cleaning. So I want to know exactly what you're thinking a detail is.
Yeah.
And I want to, like, that's why I'm like, okay, I can work with this. And then, and then I price it accordingly. But I'm not trying to, like, rape people's pockets. I want to help educate. And if I'm not somebody that's going to be good for you, I will recommend you to other places. And, I mean, I hope they work out, because I, like, haven't really seen a lot of people's work.
So one thing that I've noticed when I was like, so somebody was asking me, like, who to go to for a detail, like, about a week ago. And you and my other friend were the people I recommended. I'm like, well, here's, what are you looking for?
Yeah.
That's the first thing I asked. I'm like, are you looking for an in-depth detail? Like, you want this thing to be fucking perfect? I'm like, go to Jen. No, without a doubt. All right.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, if you're just looking for, like, a quick detail, and I'm not sure if this is within your service level, but it's like, just go over here, they'll get you taken care of, just a basic clean. That's what they were looking for.
Yeah.
So that's what I was going to ask you, because, like, when I went on your website months ago to like look at, like, your pricing or whatever, obviously that's a whole different level of packaging. Do you do, like, the quick down and dirty stuff, or not really? Like, is that just for, like, kind of like VIP customers you just want to take care of here and there?
Every once in a while I will, but usually I have those big, I will say, like, surgeries in, and those take, anywhere from, and, like, yeah, people might be like, oh, it takes, like, I don't know who says this, but I'm sure there's some people that say, like, it takes a while. But also you have to consider, like, everything that I'm doing. I got 20 buffers now, I counted, and there's, like, 3-inch there's just, like, so many little, like, it's like so many different little surgery tools. I consider myself like a detailing doctor. But yeah, I like certain times, but usually I have about, a few projects in that I can't really do it in the wintertime. Yeah, maybe I'll pick those up.
Right.
But also when it comes to like a car wash, you got to think about it like I'm a business owner. I got I don't know how to do, sometimes I don't know how to do $200 details. They always end up, it's hard for me to do that because I'll end up spending like more time on it.
Right.
I can do washes like, yes, I have something called like a hydrofoam wash.
Yep.
Where it's a good interior vacuum, good exterior car wash. But, instead of people being like, and it's like there's like a 3-month level of protection on there, and it acts like a ceramic coating, except for it doesn't have the durability of it. Like it only lasts about 3 months. But yeah, it's like super hydrophobic, which means like there's little tiny water beads on it. Feels slick as shit. And yeah, so it's like, it's nice. But that runs anywhere from like $150 to $250 depending on condition. But yeah, I can't do like the $40 or $60 wash. I mean, if I have your car for an hour and I'm paying, the girls, and then there's all the, all the stuff going on.
Overhead expenses and all
yeah,
that. Like, it's just not worth your
I'm
time.
losing money, so I can refer you somewhere else.
Yeah.
No offense, respectfully.
No, it's just a big project. It's like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like you want a freaking car wash, like just go. Like, okay, so
Yeah.
my brother's always talking about like he needs a raise for what he does or whatever.
Yeah, 100%. All detailers, like detailers, are the most underpaid people in like the automotive.
What's hilarious though is like, because these are cars that are getting delivered at the dealership. Like these are just crank them out.
Yeah,
as you know,
100%.
So like the joke is like, why should like, because he works for my dad. He's like, I can just go have one employee instead of 10. Just have him take it to holiday and get one of those like super like month long passes or whatever.
For sure.
Like that's just kind of like, hey, we're just cranking them out. Whereas like, again, what you offer is you're a doctor. Like that A8 that you did, the black, was it an A8 or the S8? I forgot. Like the older black Audi.
Oh yeah, the S8.
Dude. Have you seen this, Sean?
No.
Dude, the job that you did on that car, like,
and I could have done. Like for the price that, because there's so many times where I'll quote and I'll be like, oh, dang, I'm shooting myself in the foot. And I'm like, because I'll like work on it for a day, or like I'll do stuff for like a day, and finally I'll get it completed like to where I think it's okay. But then I'll come back the next day and I'll be like, I think I could like probably get like those scratches a little bit more. So then I'll go a little bit more, because you leave it looking a certain way and then you come back and you like forget what it looked like in the beginning a little bit. And I'm just like, oh, so like I just kept going back, and I know I could have like spent even more time, but that's why I like to give people different prices, because I'll be like, this is what it is, or you can go to this one, because it's like sometimes cars are like, because I was chipping away at 20-year-old scratches, like deep ones, and there was some butcher shop car wash.
It was better than
love marks in there
when you were done. Like I saw that, like the photos, like, and it takes a lot for it to stand out in photos. Like some people will do like the before and after, or like for example, like they'll like get the phone up close to the car and they'll be like, oh, it's like, is this a mirror or is this a car? And then you know what shot I'm talking about.
For sure.
And sometimes you could tell, like, dude, like it fools you. Like it was that good of a job. Like I think I messaged the owner. I'm like, that is ridiculous.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So especially when it's like black 20-year-old paint.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like just blows my mind. And that's the thing. Like I could never do something like that. Yeah. I could
Well,
never.
it's crazy because like, I got like a review on my Google that says like, so high price for like, what services are offered. And I'm like, dude, you're not even a customer, first of all. And second of all, like, it's, I forgot what I was going to say, but it's like, it's so much work. And people like go, like, it's funny because like people will reach out and they'll be like, oh, just got done cleaning and like detailing my car out today. I probably won't do that for years. And I'm like, I do it every day.
Every waking day of my existence.
And I work on like 5 a week. Sometimes I'm like there until 9 o'clock until 11:30, and I've gotten pissed off at paint before because certain times like it's just like so sensitive and finicky, and all of a sudden like a piece of dust will come down from the air and get in my applicator pad when I'm doing the coating. I wipe it off and there's like looks like zebra stripes, which doesn't happen very often, but it did happen on this Corvette that I was like working on, and I like just lost it, and I was just, there's times where I cry, because I'm just like, I just want to go home, and then it's
something happens.
It's something, but you know what? It's I love to be able to go home knowing that, like, I did everything I could, and I bust my ass, and people can say whatever they want. I'm just like, you know what? I know how hard I work, and I don't really deal with it very much anymore. But yeah, there was a lot of.
Yeah. Is this your calling?
This?
To be the detail doctor?
Well, what I really like, I love what I do. I know I'm not going to be able to do it forever. But yeah, I just like, I love, one thing that I'm really excited about is I love teaching. Like the girls that are in right now, and the girls that like reach out, and like other people that just like want to learn, like my techniques are not like everybody else's.
Yeah, you showed us a couple things. Well, I can't remember. My brother might, but yeah.
Did I show you anything with like buffing at all?
I think you showed my brother something with buffing. I don't know. I can't remember. But.
Yeah, like I just like how I look at things is completely different, and then how I teach about doing ceramic coatings. Like I like to, obviously I've learned from my mistakes, but there's like, yeah, there's just certain little tricks that
you've been in the game for a while.
Yeah, it's literally like all I know. So I want to help people like jump those hurdles, and it sucks because people come in and they'll like kind of like want to ask questions sometimes, and I'm like, okay, let's nerd out. Let me try and teach you as much as I can.
That's a long
and
combo.
I go, yeah, I love talking about detailing.
Do you ever see yourself doing like Sean's gonna need it, a course?
Oh yeah, so I actually am going to with Nate. Oh,
yeah.
like
are you gonna have like for example, like I don't know if you,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So we actually talked about doing that before he actually worked for me. And that's something I was, maybe in the wintertime, that's something that I would do.
With some downtime.
Yeah, and then like release it in the springtime. But I'm also going to host some trainings at the shop.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually do that, because I'm actually really scared of doing like the buffing and like that kind of stuff. It just kind of scares me, because I can watch YouTube videos, but unless I like can practice it and like physically do it, there's no way I would ever feel comfortable doing it like myself.
So like going to a training.
Yeah, I would 100% do like a training like that. But like if it's like how to wash your car 101, it's like I'm not going to take that class. That's baby steps.
That's a class.
Yeah.
I would definitely take like some
a buffing class,
more like advanced stuff.
Yeah, so like I have I got beginner buffers, I got big boy buffers, I got rotary buffers, I got gear driven buffers, I got I got air pneumatic buffers. Do
you want to tell us what all these different things are?
Okay.
Nerd out.
So
I'm just waiting for it.
So like rotary, okay, well,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, nerd out. Tell you.
Rotary buffers just spin around, and I'm not going to get to it. But like rotary buffers, like if you ever walk up to a car and you see like, it almost looks like the paint's dancing. They're called holograms, okay? It looks like little snake marks all over. Those are usually either done by a detailer that has no idea how to hold a buffer, but they're like, I know what I'm doing, because I can actually like move this thing around on the paint. But they probably like hacked through a lot of clear coat, and they like, in order to get rid of those polishing marks, you need to take a dual action buffer. So what a dual action buffer is, and you can take like a gear driven, which a gear driven is a buffer that just like, no matter where you go on the paint, it's going to continue to rotate because it's gear driven. It's not going to stop.
Right.
But like that's also, like a dual action is where it's doing two actions, which means it's going around in a circle, but it's also going around in little circles in that circle. So that's going to cancel out those holograms. But you need to be careful, because like you can do that, but it's kind of like, so how I like to explain this, especially to chicks, because chicks, they're like, oh, you buff cars. Kind of give me that little confused look. And I'm like, okay, imagine this. You go get your nails done, right? Okay. So when you get your nails done, or like you pop your nails off, they look disgusting underneath. It's all like shredded and stuff like that. So, you take that 4-sided nail buffer, you hack it all down, you get it all like, kind of all like to the same, hacked down length. Then you turn it to the other side and you start, getting it like smoother, change it to the other side, smoother. And then also on the last side, it's like shiny as shit, right? And then like there's the different levels of protection that you could put on, kind of like, so like a top coat is, it's not going to last very long. So that's essentially kind of like a wax. Wax lasts about 3 to 6 weeks. Top coat's only going to last maybe like a few days. But still, same, but different, but still same.
Yep.
So then there is, a paint sealant. So a wax is more of like the organic sort of protection, I would say. Then there's a paint sealant. That's more chemical. Okay, so that's going to last a little bit longer. That's going to last like 3 to 6 months. So that's essentially like a gel coat for your nails, okay? Then there is ceramic coating. Ceramic coating can last years. That's like an acrylic. That's very durable, right? So then they're like, oh my God, like, I get it. So it's kind of like, so when you're polishing paint, when you are taking that rotary buffer, you are hacking down really far, right? And then also it depends on what kind of pad you have. So there's like the wool pads, there's a microfiber pad, and then there's foam pads. So the less aggressive and the softer the pad that gets, that's kind of like the different sides of those nail buffers, right? But whenever you hit a car with a rotary buffer, you pretty much, you want to hit it with a DA buffer after that. And, you probably want to take more of an aggressive one after the DA, like a microfiber, or, I don't know, I have a total thing, like, I'm a simple person. I like to get to A to B with the best results, like the fastest. And I use Rupes. It's RUPES, coarse DA compound, and I use their coarse wool pad. That's pretty much like my go-to, and I can almost finish out anything in a one-step with it with my technique, because they say, I'm going to totally nerd out. They said only cycle it about 45 seconds with that stuff. I overcycle it to 100 or a minute and 20, and yeah, so it's.
So what was the difference? And this,
I went down a hole.
Yeah.
I went down a hole.
No, you're
Hey,
good.
he said it.
No.
Go
Again,
ahead.
we love the nerdy aspects of this show. Like, we've noticed that's what our viewers like too as well, and like it's perfect because it lines up with like what I like listening to, and same with Sean.
Yeah.
I remember just like you told me and my brother about this when he came to visit your shop, like that you don't follow the directions or whatever from like the buffing companies. You kind of made your own protocol.
Yeah, but then when I do it, they come back and they're like, "Oh, I talked to my people in the back, and we're gonna redo this." And
Yeah. So I guess what ended up being the different results then? So because you changed the protocol completely.
So micro. If anybody doesn't know what micro marring is,
I don't.
So when you're buffing, okay, that's why like another thing is there's things that are very important when it comes to detailing. First of all, when you're buffing, pad maintenance, cleaning your pad. Clean pad is a happy pad. If you're using a dirty pad, a matted down pad, the buffer is going to leave more micromars, which I'll tell you what that is. It's just not going to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. So clean your pad out, whether you need like an air compressor, so spraying out your pads, and maybe I'll do like a video on my YouTube with that soon. Clean pad is a happy pad. So clean pads, okay, having clean microfibers. I don't like to tape steps backwards, so I always, when I'm doing my paint corrections and coatings, always use new microfibers. So like people may knock me about like using Costco microfibers, but first of all, pull that tag and fold it in force. Only put pressure on the corners that do not have edges. If you're like crunkling up that thing and like putting pressure on like the edges, like you're gonna get scratches. But I've been doing it for so long that I just do not. I don't.
So okay,
and
Costco microfibers are back in the conversation.
$15 for a 37 pack. Okay, they work. But I also use these other microfibers that are edgeless. They're from a company called Wicked Tough Products. They're amazing. I love them. So I use those as well. But sometimes, yes, I'll use the yellow ones. And they're good for like washing, reusing for like wheels and stuff. Anyway, and then also I always wear a headlamp. I'm surprised that I don't have one on right now, because I've literally gone out to the gas station like after work at like midnight, walked in there and like wondered why people are looking at me funny, because I still have like my headlamp on. But yeah, so those are very important. But micro marring, what it is from the buffing pad, if you're using either a dirty buffing pad or a more like a wool or a microfiber one, it can leave little, like, as you're buffing, you can see like these little, and you can usually only see like in certain sunlight or with a headlamp, you can see these tiny little fiber marks in the paint. So that's what micromarring is. And when it comes to my technique rather than their technique, they say only cycle it for 45 seconds, which I usually always see micro marring after it. When I overcycle it to a minute 20, I'm heating up that compound and it's diminishing down to where it's almost like a clear color. And I wipe it and like I don't see any micro marring and it looks fantastic, especially on European paint.
Okay. Speaking of European versus American paint, what's the worst paint? I've heard GM black.
It's not. You know what? It's really not. That's
Really?
why I love, like I'm working on one right now and I just have a technique down where I could pretty much do that in a one step, But I just like to go over it once really quick because after you get done doing all the cutting, all you got to do is just hit it with a polish like right afterwards really quick. But yeah, black GM paint, not scared of it one
Not
bit.
scared. Okay.
The paint one of the paints that I really hate are it kind of almost looks like a Nardo gray, but it's not as dark as Nardo. It's like that sort of mix between chalk and Nardo gray.
What
Ford.
brand? Ford. Okay.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That like for some reason like sucks up the compound, and it's hard to wipe off. So I hate that kind of paint. I also like Audi paint if people have ran that thing through the butcher shop and BMW, that shit is hard as a rock. So when people come in and it's like, I just know that I'm chipping away at it forever. I'm actually working on a flat red Corvette right now, and that's pretty hard too. Porsche paint's the best.
Okay. When you say paint's hard as a rock because of whatever, what does that mean, I guess?
That means it takes a while to get through the scratches.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there on scratches, like, not for a long time. Like, I'll have to go over them. I'll heat them up to a certain extent, and then I'll be like, okay, I got to back off. I got to back off, and then I'll come back. And then, I'll go over it again one more time. But, yeah, there's certain times where, like, if people just want to get details every single year, I won't go, unless they want to get a ceramic coating, I won't go, because you're taking off clear coat. Like, clear coat is literally as thin as, like, a dollar bill. And it's just getting thinner every single year.
Right.
Yeah.
So then is there something to be said to like, I guess that's one of the things I've heard before. It's like, because people buff their cars like a lot. Is there a certain point where it's like bad for the car? Or can like a car make its entire life, until like, let's say I own this Volkswagen until I die and I buff it every single year a shit ton. Is there a chance that all the clear coat's going to be gone by the time I die and that car is somehow still around, for example?
The paint's going to be gone.
For sure,
You're
bet
gonna be-
solid. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so like if you did like a light polish every single year just to kind of like make it pop, like maybe a white clay bar. So if you're ever going to clay bar your car, I always just suggest the white clay bar. Like purple clay bar will hack into it like really heavy, and then it'll kind of create more of a headache. Because another thing is like people, not to like sidebar, but like anybody that like just wants to clay bar their car, just know that you're putting in micro scratches in your car.
Right, because you're picking up all the debris and you're just kind of...
Well, there's that. It's like a very fine, like light form of wet sanding. So like people are like, oh, I just clay bar it. Like especially when they're talking about a black car, they'll be like, oh, I clay barred it and I put some protection on it. I'm like, ooh, do you know that like you put micro scratches in it and then you didn't polish it afterwards, which you should always polish after you clay bar. Just my 2 cents.
So, okay, so let's break this stigma right now. This is going to be the video that goes viral. I'm telling you, Sean.
Go.
So, save a bunch of people right now. So what if they're clay barring?
serious.
Yeah, get the glasses on. So everybody that's kind of like a clay bar guru because they watched one TikTok or whatever, let's kind of just cut the BS. So like, what should be the process if somebody really cares about making their paint look perfect for the shows or whatever, and they want a clay bar? First of all, do they clay bar and whatever? Do you hate it?
Just clay barring is, I mean, it might take the contamination off. You might get like those orange dots off, but you should always polish it afterwards.
Okay.
Is there a better process instead of clay barring, or is it like you clay bar and then you polish?
You could just try an iron, and like see how well that takes out those orange dots. It'll take a good amount out, but still there's going to be some
Right,
left
instead of
behind.
just spray on.
Yeah. Like spray on what? Like wax?
The iron.
Iron?
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Is the iron decontaminizer? Is that not a spray?
Yeah. The iron is a decontamination, so you can do that. But before you do any of this stuff, you should definitely like wash your car first.
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I just wanted to get that
Sorry,
clear because I didn't want people to be like,
we should have made that
just
clear.
a dirty car.
Yeah.
Or like put iron on a dirty car because like iron, like you want it to hit like the actual surface. You don't want to like try to have to get through all like the dirt and stuff like that first. It like if in a perfect world, if you want to do things right, you should. Unless you have like a white car, you probably won't see those scratches very much. So like you could probably get away with just like you know hitting it with a clay bar and an iron and then putting some sort of like shiny protectant on there or something like that.
Yeah, my car's not getting that. No, we'll see. We'll see how much I care of it.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you though, because you have a lot of experience in this industry. Do you have any notable fuck ups to share with us, or anything that's gone horribly wrong for you over the years?
Ooh.
I'm sure you have some stories.
What can I think of?
Like I know somebody who accidentally burned a headliner detailing.
What? How do you do that?
I can't remember. I'll have to double check with them with this story or whatever. But they basically had to use their insurance to fix somebody's headliner. I can't remember if they burned it or what they did. All I remember, and they're listening to this right now. Text me. But
wait, is this live?
No. But they're gonna be listening to this when it drops on Monday.
Cool.
They're one of the supporters, the OGs.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they don't go unnoticed. But do you have any like?
You're talking like burns
or what's like some horror stories that you can share with us?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so
some newbie things.
I got one. So I ended up like I was cleaning a fleet of vehicles for this company, and like there were a couple Mini Coopers, a couple like minivans, and then there was like 2 U-Haul trucks. Okay. Mm-hmm. So like it was like the end of the day. I was like so ready to just like be done. I'm like, oh yeah, this is I think it was like the last truck that we got to do because I had like one of my friends helping me. So bring it back to the shop and like this is like dead of winter, you know, and all of a sudden, I can only see a part on top of the cab like a little bit. So I didn't realize that the garage door was not open all the way.
Oh no.
So all of a sudden, bam! And that garage door went, was just letting all that cold air in. And I just like was like, shit. And so like I got in the shop and I like called like, what was it, Twin City Garage Co. And I was like, well, I'm gonna file that through the insurance. And yeah, that was fun. So there was nothing happened to the truck.
Oh,
bulletproof.
Nothing happened to the truck.
Just the garage door.
Just the garage door got smoked. So there was that. Trying to think if there's ever been anything else.
Like have you burned through paint ever, or you're just
dude?
Like...
I don't remember the last time that I've ever kind of like had a burn through paint scare was like. I was working, but this is the disclaimer. Like I was working on some person's, some guy, super nice guy, like still supportive, loves his car, black 930 turbo, and like there was like a little peekaboo of like you can always see it's like a little bit of like a cream colored underneath, and I was like, hey, just so you know, so this is kind of like, it's not a horror story because I told him like you're getting thin on this, and he's like, yep, just like polish it up and then throw like a ceramic on it, and I was like, okay, cool. So I ended up polishing it, and there was like a little bit more, but it just kind of like it hurts me right here knowing that it was like, it was probably like a couple inches long by like maybe a fourth of an inch, like right on the front sort of fender, and he didn't give a shit about it. He's still super cool. I'm trying to think of something juicy.
I was gonna ask because like for example like a certain someone burned through the clear on one of my previous Jeeps or whatever because like they were trying to get rid of a scratch and they went a little too hard.
Yeah.
What happens when you start getting really thin on that clear coat, like especially when it's an older car, like an 87 Porsche or whatever? Mm-hmm. What do you usually suggest the customer does to, I guess, prolong the longevity of that car to last another 10, 20, 30 years with their paint? Like re-clear it or?
Oh, I mean, yeah, you can get it repainted, but nobody really wants to get there. I mean, some people don't care about it, but a lot of people want to preserve, and they don't want to say that they've had it repainted.
Yeah.
You know, like
Original
selling
paint
it is, reselling that is like, people want
That's one of the main questions. Like
exactly
the original paint.
Yeah. And so I will suggest, if you want to do a ceramic coating, but sometimes, people don't want to do. I mean, most people actually do. Like, I kind of like just say like, let's put a good wax on it and don't scratch it up. And I'll tell them like how, like, I don't want to say healthy, like smart washing methods, and then. Yeah, but I mean, getting it ceramic coated, you're adding like the tiniest little bit on top of the paint, like the tiniest little bit of extra, and like you shouldn't get it, and it does make the paint like 2 to 4 times more durable.
Okay.
So I guess that's what I would suggest if that's what's going on. God, I was gonna say something about that though. This is one thing I will say, and I always tell my friends this: if you ever are gonna go buy like a new vehicle or something like that, like I tell people to call me because I stare at paint all day. And there's certain friends that'll be like, oh, I just got my car, like let me come bring it by, I want to clean it up. And then I'll like look at it, or a customer will bring their car and they'll be like, never been repainted, and I'll be like, okay. But then they bring it in and I'll look at it and I'll be like, I'm sorry, sir, but your front bumper all the way to the passenger side to the back bumper has been resprayed. And they're like, no way. There's 6,000 miles on it. There's no way. And I'm like, yeah, let me show you this texture right here, that fisheye right there, all these dirt nibs right here. There's a piece of hair. You see that run? Like all these little things. So I've actually gone to dealerships, looked at cars paint, and like told my like people that are just customers, like, and yeah.
So, okay. Now I'm getting into CSI vibes here now, because do you think there's ever an instance, and please call me if this ever happens to you, because this would be amazing to document, or for Nate or whoever.
Yeah.
Could you get summoned to like a grand jury to be like a witness or like a expert, right? Like, you know what I'm talking about, like on shows when somebody commits a crime.
I love crime shows.
Dude, you could be like the paint crime detective, and you could come on a jury. Be like, if you look to, like, you have your glasses like this, you're gonna be looking over to the TV screen. If you see right here on the paint, it does this thing right here, and that's what. Dude, accident reconstruction. Like, for example, a certain somebody who I know sold a GTR, and its paint was fucked in the back, but it didn't have and I did rip paint off. It was under the wrap, but that's the new owner's problem. We don't talk about it. Yeah, but anyways, where was I going in that rant? Damn it, Sean's
GTR.
So the GTRs, like, what happened is like it had no accidents on the record.
Yes, so that's what happens, because what they'll do is they'll find their buddy. They'll be like, I don't want this to go on the Carfax.
Yep.
So then they find somebody and they fix it, and it's never. So that's what happened. Is like one of my good friends was gonna go to the Audi dealership, buy this Audi. He's like, go look at the paint for me. So I walk in looking like that. Like, I bet dealerships hate me. They'll be like, oh, Jen's
dealerships hate
again.
This woman.
Here's Jen again, Oh, almost sold that Aston Martin. Almost sold this. Like, yeah, it's happened a few times this year. And I'll go look, and I'll be like, yep, nope, that's been repainted. That's been repainted. And then, he's like, I was about to buy it tomorrow. Like, I told them to hold it for me, and then he went back and, like, yeah, he didn't end up buying it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is this a service that you sell to people, or is this just for the homies?
No, I'll do it for anybody hit me up. Just be like, yo, I'm about to buy this car. Can you just go analyze the paint for me? And like, I've driven up to Apple Valley. I've gone to, somebody, I hate to say it, somebody almost bought an Aston. But like, Astons are hard to tell because their paint sucks.
Yeah, they're all handmade.
It sucks. There's certain parts where I'm just like, I don't know. Like even for me.
Really?
Yeah. So it's Aston's just like, I guess don't ask me about an Aston.
Huh. I did not. Well, I mean, it's an English car, of course. What about, have you done McLarens?
Oh, yeah.
How's the paint on them?
Not bad.
Not bad? Okay.
No.
Yeah, just everything else. Sorry, Eric.
No, paperweights.
Wait, what?
Nothing.
Paperweights?
They're just always broken.
Yeah, that's the running joke. Somehow Eric's... Dude, so Eric picked his up, so it's been double PPF'd.
Yep.
That the guy did like a walk around. It's the most funny video ever because the guy says PPF. Eric counted 17 times in a 3-minute video. Like, it was hilarious. Might have been more, but the car's like...
What do you mean, though?
Huh?
He's just pointing at every panel on the car. He's like, PPF, PPF, PPF.
But anyways, the car's like 30,000 miles. Absolutely perfect. Like, for a McLaren, like, that's like, it's a unicorn.
That's unheard of.
It's unheard. Like, I love that car. It's the perfect color or whatever. I should probably send him your way. He probably needs some love. But Where the heck was I? Oh, yeah. Please have a TV show. Like, this could be even like a funny series. Like, have you ever seen Key and Peele?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You could be the detail version of Key and Peele.
Okay, so Nate and I were working on my About Carsmotology video, and I'm like, I can't, like, now that I'm kind of like on my own, I just get to like be me. I'm a weirdo. Like,
We know.
I like to have fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is going to be like, it's going to be funny because there was like a serious one we made, and like, you know, he does really good work, but we're both just like,
You got to show your vibe.
we're gonna kind of wash this one. Maybe this will be like option B for those people who want like the serious one, but like I like to just be a little weird, you know. I know how to be professional,
Right.
absolutely,
100%, yeah.
but I'm one weird motherfucker.
So what's your kind of like ideal customer client like profile? Like
Ideal, somebody that understands that, like, first of all, I don't like to sit on cars, you know. Like, I got a couple cars that are sitting in there right now. That's because the Dodge dealership doesn't have room for one of them, and they're like, can you just hold on to it for like a month and a half? And then there's my landlord, who he's the big Mopar king, and so I'm working on one of his 6, you know, or other Hellcats or whatever they are, and then he's got I don't know how many Vipers, and I don't know. Yeah, he's. Yeah.
This is the guy that we try to have on, I believe.
Oh, Greg? You talking about Greg?
I call him Greggy, but he doesn't know it yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
shoot.
Yeah, super off the radar. Yeah, but
Such a cool dude. Such a cool dude. Yeah, last time he came in, he brought me ice cream sandwiches.
yeah, perfect landlord.
He's so great. But so yeah, just somebody that like understands that I give a shit about your car. It's like
Right.
it's your baby, it's my baby, it's inside. But I get it, like, you know, some people just don't know me and how I like run my ship. But yeah, just I don't like to sit on cars. I do have bad ADHD. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Like certain
You're doing good so
stores
far.
Okay, thanks. Because I get flare ups and I don't take pills for them. So yeah, I don't like the
You're
way
just
that
high
Adderall
energy and
makes
a good
me.
vibe or a good time. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like to take Adderall. I've done it before, and it's just not my thing. So, yeah, I like to have multiple different cars in. You know, I'll bounce from one, and I'll work on it for 6 or so hours. I'll go work on the next one. I'll work on the next one. You know, at the end of the week, or like I'll have one or two send out by Wednesday, and then I have the other 2 or 3 done by Friday, and then maybe I'll have 2 done by Friday, and then I'll work on one over the weekend. But I just like to have a lot of things going on. I just like people understand that, and I definitely don't want like douchebags coming into the shop.
You've told me some stories, like one, I think, because I know you for like you put up some stuff to like block your windows because the guy was like watching you detail or something like that.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there was one guy that was a stalker that tried to kill me too, so there's that.
I mean, are you a detailer if that doesn't happen to you?
Right.
It's a rite of passage.
It's
I was going to ask you, are you still like looking to add people to your team? Or not right now?
Right now, I got a good little crew, and they're like coming in almost every day
Because
for
you got
like
Nate,
a few hours.
and then who else?
Nate, Brooke, and Summer.
Okay.
So we actually, we just did our first podcast like yesterday, which will be, I think it's out right now on like, I don't know if it's like Apple.
Yeah, it looked like a riot. Is
Apple.
that Nate managing all that for you then?
Yeah, but
Okay.
I actually don't. This isn't coming out yet, but I just need to do a little bit of editing on it. So
Right.
yeah. But anyway, check it out on whatever Monday. But
What's it under?
this one's more important
You're fine.
first.
Thank you. But what's the name of your podcast?
It's just right now. It's just Carsmotology. And the first one's called. First one is called Driven Beginnings.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm just curious, how long are the episodes? Because I'm sure some people from here might even jump over there.
This one's like 35 minutes.
Okay.
But like I did want to start another podcast, which I've like had ideas about, and I do like I think it might be on what is it? I put it on Anchor, but that one, like, I recorded that one just freestyling it for like 45 minutes. I think it's that podcast is called In the Buff, The Naked Truth of a Female in a Male Dominated Industry. Cause like, it was just like a lot of like in the buff, you know, I'm buffing, but it's like me just being real. So like the naked truth, but I don't know how
Do you want to share? I mean, and we won't be here too much longer either, because I'm sure some people are getting to their jobs right now as they listen to this. Time to get to work. No. Is there anything you could share about that aspect of the industry of being a female in a predominantly male-dominated industry?
I would say in the beginning, I was one of, like, I didn't know many. There was like one other chick that I knew that was like kind of in the industry when I was getting into it. Cause yeah, I've been in this for like realistically, like, seriously detailing since I was 19, which will be 20 years this year. But yeah, it was tough. Like I taught myself like all my own shit. Like, I mean, yeah, in the beginning, like somebody like showed me how to use the rotary buffer. I'm really good at observing. So like, yeah, I learned and I observed and I took the time by myself, not on, you know, the clock to like try and learn this stuff. And then, you know, I watched somebody for 15 minutes with a DA buffer. That's the one that like gets out all the, you know, gets that perfect black. Yeah, that perfect black shine.
Double action.
Yeah.
What's the difference between double and dual?
Same.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, pull up the fucking dictionary, Sean. Okay, continue.
So that one, like, I watched somebody use it for 15 minutes, and then I kind of had to, like, teach myself. I had to learn that, okay, if you do huge sections, like, the compound heats up in the pad, and, like, you need to clean it out more, and, like, you need to clean the pads off. Like, I taught myself, you know, trial and error, like, you know, I don't remember the only time I really burned paint was when I was probably 20 years old with a rotary buffer on a brand new sprayed bumper. So like, yeah, I hit it with the rotary buffer and I like pretty much watched paint fly. Yeah, I was like, oh shit. But yeah, so I would say that being a female, you know, it does get kind of intimidating. Like I don't know if I was intimidated or stubborn, because I just didn't want to ask for help, because I didn't want somebody to be like, why are you asking for help? Maybe this isn't the industry for you. So, yeah, now these days it's a lot better because there's so many more females in the industry.
Oh yeah.
Which is so great. But yeah, it was tough. There's a lot of shit talking and like, you know, being like, what makes you different? And but I did know, I'm like, you know what, with my work ethic, how much I care, you know, and I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just knew that I wasn't gonna, and with my attitude, I just knew I wasn't gonna fail.
Right.
Like, and if I do fail, I'll learn something from it, and I'll just keep going. But I won't stop. So no matter how anybody tries to tear me down, or you know, say something about me, like I know who I am and what I can do,
right.
And I'm not gonna stop. So get used to the name.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something to be said about being absolutely obsessed.
Yeah.
About what you do. And I'm just curious, just for myself, like, was there anything like, so for example, like, let's say you had this main linear path of being a detailer. Mm-hmm. Was there any like side projects or things that you considered in the meantime? Like, oh, should I get into, I don't know, fucking writing books or whatever?
There's so much stuff that I want to do. Like,
but like back then, like, was there anything that like almost distracted you from being who you are today? Like again, being like a book writer or whatever the hell, like, you know, something. Or going into a marketing career. Or is detailing always it?
There's things that I want, like, you know, I would love to race cars. Like, I have one of the girls that works for me, she is just in spectator races, but like, I love seeing her, like, you know, I just went and saw her like race. She's 16 years old and she like beat everybody, and she's only been doing it for a year, and like older guys, and like, you know, it's just sore losers now, and like, but yeah, no, like I love driving. I love driving, but like I've spent too much money on other cars and like other shit that like I just don't have it'll happen someday. But no, there's not really something that I was like, oh, I kind of want to veer off from detailing. I don't think. I was thinking about being a sales representative for a bit, but I was like, you know what? Like, as much as I loved those people, I was helping their business grow and not my own.
Right. Yeah.
And it wasn't my name, and I I think I have a wonderful brand, and I just want to set it. I like setting an example of like how like I said, I like being a good person. It's not that hard to be a good person. It's not that hard to show that like you care. And I just kind of like learned that early on, and it feels good. And yeah. So no, I don't really, I don't really know if there's anything that I want to do.
No, I think you chose a great career and you've done very well for yourself. And that's awesome. Thanks. Because like you said, there's not a lot of women in this industry, and you really set a path for yourself.
By the way, shout out to Jocko for fueling all our entire podcast.
Thanks, Jocko.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, I think I went on a rant last episode. That's like my dream sponsor right there, because it's like my favorite energy drink. It's low caffeine, clean burning, and this is a free ad for somebody that doesn't sponsor me. So, anyways, Sean, should we do our usual 3?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. If this is
no, just wrap it.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. You got 3 choices. You got to make one. My gosh.
No,
I don't know why I fucked up
this
question so
I know,
hard.
I put you to sleep. We don't record this late usually, so.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So we like to ask our guests, question about their choice of cars. So one of them's got to be your daily, one of them's got to be your track car, one of them's got to be your show car. Unlimited budget, imagination, that's your limit. So
yeah.
Ready?
Yeah. Are you? That's the
Okay.
question, because like we had some people like really think about this in the past. So
Daily RS6.
Okay.
Track car GT3. Or GT3 RS.
With the active arrow,
Yeah.
the DRS, the new one.
rapid fire.
Yeah. And then for
I'm trying to slow her down.
the show car, I would love to have. I definitely.
The show car always gets people.
I know.
The show car where I just like, roll up.
Roll up.
I don't know.
What-
I'm thinking something kind of like something big. I don't know.
European?
Something big, like one of those like big ass like international CXTs.
Yeah,
or like something
okay.
like that, or like I don't know, or like the daily might be like a truck. I do really want a truck really bad. I do. And
It'd be
Are you
hilarious.
like a big lifted truck or like a street truck?
I don't know. My
like
girlfriend
lowered?
and her boyfriend make like some really sick lifted trucks. She actually just got a Netflix series.
Okay.
Yeah, she's pretty tight, and her boyfriend, they do like powder coat. Anyway, but yeah, they have lifted trucks and they're like done like super clean. But I just don't know if I could do like that big, because they're really big. Yeah, show car. I don't know. I really like Huracans too, just because you can beat the shit out of them.
You want to do an R8
I do an R8. Yeah.
over a Huracan? It gets difficult. That's the thing with unlimited budget. It's tough.
I don't know.
It's tough because like you've seen every car over the years. It makes our
Yeah.
decision tougher.
It does make the decision tougher. Shit. I just know that I'd want like, what'd you say? One was a track car.
Yeah.
That was no brainer. Like the
GT3
Porsche.
RS.
Yeah, GT3
Yeah.
RS.
So then the daily and the track car, because we're back to trying to figure out the daily. I think.
I think
right?
I don't know.
No, daily's the RS6.
The RS6.
You're sticking
has
with
gotta
that?
be-
Okay.
it's either that or it's got to be the RS6, and then the show car. There's got to be like some exotic one that I like really like.
like a bagged 992 Turbo S or something, like, because you can mod it to hell too.
No, I do really like Bugattis too.
Okay.
Those are nice.
A lifted Bugatti, I like it. Put some 37s on it.
You're just
God.
speaking my language, dude. No. Yeah, there's just, I don't know. The show car is such a toss-up.
You can also pick one right now and then just come back and change your mind on a future
96
episode.
Toyota Camry.
96 Toyota Camry. Okay. That's what passes as a show car in Minnesota.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think about it. I don't know.
Throw one down and then next time we'll come back to another one.
I have to say, I think Audi RS6 is the #1 pick for a daily.
Oh yeah, every single episode, almost every single episode, it's a
Really?
freaking RS6. Yeah, everybody loves it.
Really?
wants an RS6 for a daily.
It's either-
it's unanimously known
Maybe
as
that's
like
okay.
the best daily
So
driver.
I'm sorry, but like I think maybe this is whatever. I'm just gonna put the RS6 as my show car, but I'm gonna get some fatty wheels on there, and then probably some, even though it already has like a module or like something where it lowers it down, but maybe I'll want air ride on it, and they'll put like a little Thule topper.
Okay.
Or maybe like a color match one, and then the daily will be like a big ass truck, maybe a dually. I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea. Just something big.
Yeah, you were saying earlier in the episode that you were wanting to get a truck.
I do. I will say that I'm kind of aggressive when I drive a truck, though, which is kind of like not a good thing.
Really? I'm like the opposite.
Yeah, I'm like an asshole. I'm like, I don't know. I just know that I'm bigger than you.
See, that's what I feel like when I'm in like a bigger car. I'm just like I'm good chilling. Like nobody can bully me. I'm in a big car or a big truck. Like I'm just gonna chill. Like this thing's meant to just go down the highway at a certain speed, and it's not meant to go fast.
Yeah, I like having the truck. I can just throw because I love fishing. I kind of want to throw some stuff. I just want to throw stuff in the back, and then maybe if I need to jump a curb or something like that, I'll do it.
Yeah,
I miss
and
those
not feel
days.
bad and not feel bad.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just being like, I can go wherever I want.
Right.
I freaking missed the Gladiator for that, man. I was able. Dude, you know how many curbs I went over? I used to literally. I was the guy parking on snowbanks, at Target or whatever. Like just extra. I was the most extra Jeep owner ever. And if you gave me an unlimited budget, man.
I feel like every Jeep owner does that sort of.
Oh, we're extra.
Mall crawler. That's what we call it.
What does a mall crawler mean? I don't
Well,
get
it's
it.
like
Sorry to go a little.
like rock crawlers. Like they got the big tires, and
what
they
crawler?
got a rock crawler.
Okay, yeah.
Like they go off trails, and they go up those
detailed one of those in the beginning of the year.
90 degree angled rocks,
Yes,
and they'll climb up those, and then those same different people, mall crawlers, will get those same modifications, and they'll just park in mall
But they'll never use it for
and
its
they never
intended
use
purpose.
it for going up hills or mountains.
Yeah, garage
Okay.
princess kind of.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
garage.
Whereas
queens.
your guy, side tangent. So she had a crazy Wrangler or whatever at her shop. Like when
Did you
she
see the white one?
The white one.
Were
yeah, the
you
white-
there?
Yeah, I was there when I checked it out. So this thing had carbon fiber or whatever. What is it? Like fenders. This guy had badges all across the back of his car of every single trail he's done. It's Moab.
I can't believe that you were there. That's crazy.
Dude, that thing was the sickest thing ever. I was just thinking well, at first I was like, oh, look at that silly white Wrangler. Oh, this is going to go off-roading. Then I walked to the other side of it, and it was just oh, these are battle scars.
Yeah, he's showed me his Instagram, and I'm like, okay, yeah.
Oh, you should send that to me. I'd like to check it if it's public.
I don't remember. I think it is, but I have to look up his. I'll have to look up.
Look him up in the system. We'll figure it out.
I'll creep on him.
Yeah, no, that thing was freaking. I think I got some pictures. I'll show you some pictures if I find it, Sean. It was so ridiculous. And by the way, I'm not going to show you because every time I tell Sean I'm going to show him something after the show, I never do.
You're instantly gonna forget the minute you hit end.
No, leave me alone. I'm a fucking goldfish. That said, oh boy, that's a tick. Thanks for coming on, Jen. It was a blast to have you on. We definitely would love to have you on in the future. If you want to bring somebody else to be your co-guest in the future, that'd be awesome too.
I totally bring Nate. He's
he looks like he has a sparkling personality from your stories, from what I've seen. So yeah. So absolute blast. I think we learned a thing or two about what not to do.
Yeah, feel free.
I did.
Feel free to reach out. I love to help, but if I got work to do, I'll have to.
Get back
to you.
Where can people,
but I definitely want to help.
Where can people find you?
So I'm mostly active on Instagram for posting stuff, but been very active on YouTube. So there's a lot of educational stuff on there. I just posted the first vlog, and then there's it's just a lot of fun stuff on there. But yeah, Instagram, you can find me on Facebook, but Jennifer Turcotte, Carsmotology. I'm on Threads and TikTok, but not.
We gave
really.
up on Threads.
Yeah,
it's okay.
I'm barely on that stuff, but those are just I'm mostly always on Instagram, and then I'm posting on my story pretty much if you want to see what I'm doing throughout the day, it's that's where it's at. Yeah.
All right, check me out. I'm at 1MN Mopar on Instagram. That's about it. Harris, how
As
about
for
you?
me, if you guys are on my channel,
you're doing great.
You know the name.
Yeah,
it's Monoxide.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't have anything else you want to talk about?
I always have things I want to talk about. I could be here till tomorrow. Make sure that you guys are signing up for the newsletter. Make sure to follow all the fun channels, whatever, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all that fun stuff. But the newsletter is the biggest one because all of social media sucks and it's not pushing anything, which kind of stinks. But if you want to stay in the loop, sign up for the newsletter. Other than that, thanks for coming on, Jen, and then we'll see you all next time.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Did I do a good job? All right, bye.